The two most important components to any training program, no matter what you're training for, are markers and release words. The good news is you're probably already using markers without even realizing it. And there's no bad news. Okay, so what's a marker? A marker is the thing that tells the dog that he has accomplished what you asked of him. So the marker is the thing that you would use no matter what command you've given to tell him he accomplished it. Let me give you an example. If I'm teaching a dog to sit, the nanosecond his butt hits the floor, I'm going to mark that action. Yes, good boy. So some people use clickers. You probably heard of clicker training. My personal preference is to use a verbal marker. I like to be able to modulate that, put the right tone and energy into it. The clicker, the benefit of the clicker is that it's extremely consistent. So there's no mistaking what that click sound means for the dog, but it does leave out the option for, like I said, adjusting tone and energy level. So for me, the marker, I just use the word yes. Please. Yes, good girl. Yay, good girl. Short, snappy, and unique in the way you deliver it. So I'm not saying yes like, yes, I'd like a piece of pizza. I'm saying yes. I'm kind of hissing it out. Pig, place. Yes, good girl. Good job. Good. And that's why I said most people, or a lot of people, do this without even realizing it. Your dog, if you tell your dog to sit and he sits, you're so excited. You go, yes, good job, buddy, you did it. So to that end, if you're already using it, what you now want to do to make your training, take your training to the next level, is harness that and make it a little bit more concentrated in your application. Be a little bit more careful with it, so that it's telling the dog this action equates with this term. Sit equals this position of putting your butt on the ground. Same with behaviors. If you're teaching your dog a leave it, and you say leave it, and he actually diverts his attention from the thing in question, yes, good boy, good job. You just left that thing, whatever it might be. So the marker is the bridge. It's the communication bridge between our verbal commands, the words we use to communicate to the dog, and the actions that those imply to him. So if you're really, really consistent and clear with your marker, you can teach a dog anything, anything. On top of that, we have secondary markers, which again, good news, you're probably already using them. So a secondary marker is kind of the backup to encourage the dog that he's on the right track. So we can use those with positives or with negatives. So if my dog is in a sit and I tell him he sits, I mark it, I say, yes, that's my word. And then it looks like he's about to get up before I've allowed him to do that. I can say, or good. Good boy. Good boy. I know, very good. Okay, but it's just a reminder, hey, buddy, you need to not do what you're thinking of doing at this exact moment. So it's not a correction. It's a little reminder that would come before any corrections. And oftentimes that is enough for the dog to understand. Likewise, I can use them in a positive way to encourage him and say, hey, you're on the right path. You've almost got it. You're almost there. So if I'm doing a recall, I can call the dog in, and if he's coming toward me, but he's a little bit sluggish, or he seems a little unsure if he's doing the right thing or not. Good boy, let's go. Come on, you got it, you got it, you got it. And then as soon as he reaches me, yes, he's accomplished the task of the command. So you can utilize these, and like I said, most people do it without even realizing it. But if you really harness it and make it a part of your more concentrated, orchestrated training program, you will see excellent, excellent results. Okay, the second thing, the release word. This is the thing most people are not already doing. So this is something you got to kind of work on a little bit and get into the habit. But you're going to use release words when you're giving the dog a command that results in a very specific obedience response. Yes, good boy, good front. That's good boy. Okay. Sit, down, place, whatever, finishes, all these different things. You don't use them so much for behavior terminology, but I'll give you the example. If I tell my dog sit, He needs to hold that sit position until I release him. And my release word is okay. I say it with a lot of energy and enthusiasm because that's going to be followed with his reward, which is play. I don't usually use treats. So he sits. Yes, I mark the sit. And then once he's done with that, whatever length of time we're working on it, okay, he can now get up. If I don't give him an okay to get up, he's going to decide for himself when he's done sitting and he's going to get up. And by doing that, he has now watered down the value of the command. So, like I said, sits, downs. This is one of the big things people come in with, and they say, well, I taught him what it means. He knows what sit means. He knows how to do it or down or place or whatever, but he never stays there. Well, okay, because you're not releasing him. He's just choosing on his own when to get up and go do something else. So by incorporating the release word every single time, he now knows he has to wait for those release words until he's able to get up. So the release word, basically, he's off the clock. He's on, when I tell him sit, he's on the job. When I tell him okay, he's off the clock. He can sniff around, do what he wants. There's that. Okay, yes. This becomes really helpful when we're working on leash manners because we're going to put the dog on the clock, and there's going to be certain parameters as far as what it means to walk well on the leash, but we're going to give him breaks where he can sniff and pee and do whatever dogs do. So if he doesn't recognize that there's a specific time at which he's given permission to do these other things, he's going to keep trying to do them all the way through, even when he's supposed to be just walking properly. So the time that you're not going to use the release word is for certain behavioral commands. So if I tell the dog to leave it, for example, once he's left it, that's it. I mean, it's a terminal. He's done with that command. There's no telling him, okay, meaning you can go back to whatever you were fixated on. Leave it. I'm off. If he's jumping on people and I say off, I'm not going to then say okay, meaning you can go back and jump on people. That's not what I'm looking for. Enough, which is kind of universal. So if you incorporate these into your training, you will find that the dog has a much clearer understanding of what you're asking, and therefore he will do a much better job because he knows how to succeed. We've taken the guesswork out of it, and at that point he will enjoy the process that much more. So if this is something you struggle with or you need help with, please reach out to us. We these are the foundations for any and all training, like I said, and we can certainly offer some assistance to people who are grappling with it or unsure what to do. But it can be the game changer for your dog and his understanding and compliance with what you're asking of it.